let's finish up. Let's do some more for 8.1, okay? No. Okay, so we started talking about consumer math, which is chapter 8. So we're going to hit this topic pretty hard because I think it has a lot of applications. 8.1 talks about percentages, taxes, and inflation. So first we started talking about percentages. So write each percent as a decimal. Percent, we said, means per 100. So if I'm dividing each thing by 100, that's the same as moving the decimal place over twice. So the way to write a percentage as something I can use in my calculator is to move the decimal place over twice and then write that as a percent. So 30% is actually 0.3. 125% is actually 1.25. 13.2% is actually 0.132. I said don't get tricked with this one. We're still moving the decimal place over twice. We get 0.0002. Okay? So now let's talk about percent change. So we have a formula. So percent change equals new amount minus base amount divided by the base amount. So this is the formula for percent change. Put it in a box, you got to know it. So the percent change equals the new amount minus the base amount divided by the base amount. So the base amount can also be called the previous amount. Okay, so we have this formula. Now let's do some examples and see how to use it. So this is example 5. Assume a 12-pack of Red Bull costs $18.02. $18.02 in 2010 and $19.58 in 2015. What is the percent change? In this time? Okay, so here's my question. I have a formula. People feel like they don't like word problems. But basically, when I go for my word problem, I need to read it and identify the parts of my formula, right? So from this formula, percent change, that's what my question is. My question is, what is the percent change? So solution, percent change equals, well, from my formula it says the new amount minus the base amount over the base amount. So I have two numbers. Which one's my new amount? Which one's my base or previous amount? $18.02 is what? It's the base or previous? Base and previous are the same, right? Okay, $19.52 is new, right? So I have this word problem. Maybe it tells me the ingredients in Red Bull. Maybe it tells me Red Bull is sold at convenience stores. I don't care, right? You have to filter out all of that additional information and say, okay, the last sentence says, what is the percentage change? Okay, let me remember my formula for that and see what I need. Circle the stuff you need, underline the stuff, and figure out how to plug it into that formula. So percentage change equals new amount, which is 1958, minus base amount, which is 18.02, divided by your base amount, 18.02. Okay? Who's got a calculator? What did you figure out? If you put this in your calculator, I want the answer.
Oh, okay. I got 0.086.
0.086. Is that what you guys got?
It looks like you just want to make the top and the bottom.
Okay, let me put this in my calculator. 19.58 minus 18.02 divided by 18.02. Oh, you can't even see all that. Okay, this is what I just typed in. 19.58 minus 18.02 divided by 18.02. Is this good? I heard yes and I heard no. So you have to think about the order of operations, right? If I type this into the calculator, this is not the correct answer. This is giving me 19.58 minus this divided by this. You multiply and divide first. This would equal 1. So you'd get 19.58 minus 1, right? So when I'm putting it into my calculator, I need to do parentheses around the numerator, right? And then you should get 0.086. Don't round. Didn't ask me to round. Keep it as exact as possible, right? This is a thing where if you put it in an Excel spreadsheet and you round very soon.
Can you just subtract it and then just divide it?
Yes. Good. But then you're doing the correct order of operations when you do that, right? You're simplifying the numerator, simplifying the denominator, and then dividing. So is this my answer?
Now you gotta move it to the left 3.6%.
So what are you getting?
8.6%.
8.6%. Good. That's your answer. So make sure you're answering the question. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you.
Okay?
Can we do another one?
Yes. So a car is having an end of year clearance, which claims that all cars are sold at a 5% markup over the dealer's cost. A new Honda is for sale for $23,302. You find the dealer's cost to be $21,339. Is the dealer being honest? Huh?
If they're like, they're saying like it's 5%, you go to them and then you show them that it's not it, can you bring it down further?
I don't know. Okay, so who's got an idea?
I'm still not even done.
Pardon? Okay. So let me write percent change equals selling cost. Oh gosh. Selling cost minus dealer cost over the dealer cost. Okay, so what am I going to do? How am I going to use this formula?
What does that say? Find the what cost at the bottom?
What? Find the dealer's cost. You find the dealer's cost to be $21,339. So here I have $2 amounts, right? Blah, 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 blah. Here's my numbers. How do I plug it into my formula, right? So I know the percentage change is the selling cost minus the dealer's cost divided by the dealer's cost. Well, this is the dealer, and this is the selling. So plug it into the formula. I'm going to plug it into the formula, and it should be 5%, right? Because that's what they claimed. If it's not 5%, he's not being honest, right? What are you hoping for?
It being less than 5%?
I'm hoping it's as low as possible, right?
Yeah, I would think so. I see.
Okay, so selling cost is 23,302 minus 21,339 over 21,339. What do you guys get?
0.09%.
Can you do it? Don't round it. What is it?
9%.
Don't round it. 0.0919, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Are you putting the base price in front this time just so we don't get a negative number?
I can't hear you. What?
Are you putting the base price in front this time just so we don't get a negative number?
So you can get a negative number, right? Like if something's on sale, then the percent change, then the cost would decrease, right?
Because I'm not gonna lie, I was a little confused about whether I should just go ahead and put it in front this time.
yeah, I was confused as to which one was the base and which one was the.
So I wrote this one out here, selling price minus dealer price over dealer price. So you're looking for the percentage that the dealer is changing the price, right? So that means that this is the dealer price is kind of your base, right? Because you're looking for the percentage he's marking it up from the dealer price. Okay. So what is this as a percentage? 9.19%. So did I answer the question?
Yes.
No, I didn't answer the question. Is he being honest?
No.
Nope. Not honest. Right? Answer the question. It's a hard no on the honesty. Okay.
I hope it said tax or something.
No, he's trying to make money, right? So maybe I'm going to buy this calculator for $95, right? Oh, I'm the bookstore. I'm going to buy this calculator for $95. You guys can have it for $102. I need to make some money, right, to stay open.
That's consumer.
But do I want to buy it for $95 and sell it for $100, or do I want to buy it for $95 and sell it for $105, right? So you have to have like a realistic kind of markup price that you're not.
Capitalism.
I mean, a pack of gum here is like twice as much as it would be in the store. You got it at the
It's a convenience fee, friends. It's really what it is. Okay, so C is percent. you guys all get that page? Let me put it back up. Okay, percent. This is what I think is the most helpful. So here we have the equation is the percent times the base amount equals the amount you're getting. Okay, so let's do a couple examples. So this is number 7. What is 35% of 140? In math, of usually means multiplication, right? Of usually means multiplication in math. So I have 35% of 140 is what amount, right? That's what I'm asking. But first I need to convert 35% to a number I can put in my calculator. I'm taking the decimal place and I'm moving it over twice, right? So 0.35 times 140 equals what? That's the amount I'm looking for. 49. Good. Number 8. 63 is 18% of what number? Okay, so is 63, is that my base or is that my amount?
That's your amount.
How do you know that?
Because you don't know what it's out of, right? You have to solve for the base.
So let me translate a little English to a little math. Right? So whether I know this formula or not, this is my translation. 63 equals 18% of what? Of is usually multiplication, right? So if I'm going back to my equation, I have 63 equals, instead of 18%, I need to write that as something I can put into my calculator, which is 0.18 times, what number? We'll call that A since we're calling it the amount. Oh. Okay, yeah. I was calling it B. Okay. I'll call it B since it's base. Sorry. Just so we're not mixing up the letters. We'll just call it the base. Okay, so now I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, I want B equals something, right? I need to figure out my bases. How do I solve for B? Good, so I have 0.18 times B. The opposite of multiplication is division, so I'm going to divide both sides by 0.18. Because 0.18 divided by 0.18 is 1. And I want 1B, right? So what does that equal? 350. What? But the thing is that it's easy, but if I put it into a word problem about cars, then I'm going to tell you the sales tax is this much, the this is this much, the discount is this much. We have to figure out exactly where to plug in what. But once we know it, we can boil it down to this, right? And once you know it for a lot of things, you can make, like the business department said, you can make an Excel spreadsheet and just drag and drop the formula, right? I feel like I want to make, you know how we talked about the way to calculate your weighted average? I feel like you can make an Excel spreadsheet for that and then not have to do the calculations every time, right?
My aunt did that for me in high school.
Does anybody want to make that? For your friends? What? I like this stuff. You guys are fun.
Could you make it
If somebody else makes it, I can check it. If somebody makes an Excel spreadsheet for how to calculate the weighted average that we talked about that one class, so that people can just enter their information into that, so that you don't have to do the calculations every single time. You can just make an Excel spreadsheet once, then put in what you have. I'll verify that it's correct. Who wants to do it?
Is that an extra credit project?
Yeah, if it's extra credit, yeah.
Well, I'll do it.
You'll have so many to look over.
Wait, it's only extra credit?
Huh?
It's either extra credit or money. Extra goodwill.
It's like help for yourself. That's extra grading for me, which is not help for me. Help your friends if you want. Okay, so 288 is what percent of 640? So I'm looking for the percent times. Okay, which one is my base? 640 equals 288, right? Of is multiplication, is equals 288 equals question mark of 640, right? Or P for percent. Okay, how do I solve for P? Good. So the operation between P and 640 is multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division, and that's because 640 divided by 640 equals 1. So P equals, who put this in their calculator? 0.45, which as a percentage is 45%, right? So I think most people struggle with math and words problems is translating this into an equation and then the order of operations, right? Okay, you want to do more of these? So you see how we took, this is typically how I teach. We have an equation. We did 3 examples, and for each example we solved for each different one, right? So now you kind of have a formula or a method. If I want to solve the percentage, look at number 9. If I want to solve for the base, look at number 8. If I want to solve for the amount, look at number 7, right? So you kind of see that they should follow the same, they should be solved in a similar manner. Bless you. 10. 12 is what percent of 80? So this problem is similar to the one right above it, right? So I'm solving for the percent. So you try it on your own. Check to make sure I got it right. So I'm going to solve my equation. Did I get it right? Yes. Okay, I'm going to write down another one then. You guys do this on your own. Figure out if it's like number 7, number 8, or number 9, right? Figure out how the wording is the same. If you can't figure out how the wording is the same, look at the question and translate this sentence into math. 11. What is 24% of 125? First step, write down 24% as a number I can put into my calculator. Okay, now I'm going to write my answer and you tell me if I'm right. Try it on your own. Did I get it right? Yes? Okay, let's do number 12. If you didn't get it right or if you don't understand, you have to ask now, because I'm just going to do examples. I'm going to write down a sentence, and I want you guys to try it on your own, because like I said, the previous page we did all the possible examples. Now I'm just going through and changing the numbers a little bit, right? right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is kind of what the homework's like too. It'll have sentences like this, but maybe instead of 24%, it'll say 35% of 95, right? So look for the pattern. Look for the pattern when we're doing stuff in class, and look for the pattern when you're doing stuff in homework. 77 is what is 20%? Is 22% of what number? Okay, so you guys write your answer down, and then somebody tell me what to write. Who can help? JP. Okay, can you tell me an equation to write?
Sorry. 77 divided by 0.22%.
Can you tell me based off of this formula that we started with? My first step, I'm writing it in this form every time. 77 is 22% times, I'll call it B for the base. You might have called it X, you might have called it N, I don't know what you called it. Okay, now I'm solving for B. And the reason for that is 0.22 over 0.22 equals 1. And 1 times B is just B, and that's what I'm trying to solve for, right? And you said you got 350? Is that clear? Okay, 33.6 is what percent of 96? Okay, so everybody try to write it on your own, and then someone can help me. Tell me what to write. Did I get the equation right? You can help me solve this. Why are you saying that, Austin? Why are you saying divide by 96? How do you know that?
Because that's you gotta get that by itself.
You're trying to get P by itself. P in 96, the relationship there is multiplication. So the opposite of multiplication is division. Good. So P equals what?
0.486.
Point what?
0.35.
0.35. So that equals 35%.
Typed in the wrong number.
Okay. All right. Should we do a word problem? Okay. So number 14. At one time, the 95, 96 Bulls. Oh, I should have done a Carolina one. Is anybody a Duke fan? Good. Thought you guys were smart. Huh? Last class, everybody was talking about the game last class, and I was like, is anybody a Duke fan? And everybody was like, very sorry, friend. Had the best record in the history of the NBA. With 72 wins and 10 losses. What percent of their games did they win? Do you guys like basketball?
My brother plays 2K, so
Who is playing?
Huh?
Oh my goodness, I'm so old. Who is playing at this time? Okay, thank you. I think I realized last class that most of you were born in like 2000. Okay, so so let's remember our formula. We have the percent times the base equals the amount. So we're trying to figure out the percent from this equation, right?
what's after did?
What?
On the second line, what's the did? No, if you're back down line. After did.
Did they win?
Oh, they.
Okay, so what percentage of the games did they win? Okay, so I'm looking for the percent times the base equals the amount, right? So who's got an idea?
Would it be 72?
Would it be 72?
It'd be 87.
Would it be 87?
No, I'm talking
Wait,
about like,
that,
is that how you writing it out?
oh,
How, like,
Yeah, so what's the base, right?
82.
okay, so it'd be 82.
72, 82, what do you guys think?
82.
Why 82?
That's 72 base 10.
Because it's what percentage of their total number of games, right? Good. Equals what percentage of their total number of games
76.
did they win? Equals 72. I'm solving for P. So now, whatever. I could have told you, my favorite thing to do on a test is to say, to add in extra information, right? And you need to think about, okay, what is the question? The question is, what percentage of their games did they win? So what do I need to ignore? What is not relevant? Maybe I told you Michael Jordan's stats for that year. Oh. Maybe I told you who they played for that 72nd win. Maybe I told you who they lost to. Doesn't matter. The question is, what percentage of their games did they win? I need to realize that this is the formula I'm using and filter through all of that other information to figure out, okay, I'm looking for a percentage, and what are these two things, right? My favorite thing to do. Add some extra stuff. Where did we get 82 from? Because I'm looking for the percentage of their total number of games that they played. Did they win? The total number of games they played is their wins and their losses together, right? And if they had ties, maybe, right? Could have tied a game, but then there's overtime. Okay, anyways. So now I'm solving for P, so I'm dividing both sides by 82. I like how we do a sports question, and I'm like, okay, what is the base? And everybody's talking. That's good, right? Because if it's sports and if it's money, most people understand it, right? It's important.
Relevant to real life.
So that's why I want you guys to think of questions or topics that you talk about in other classes that I can make into a word problem that you'll care about, right? So P equals 0.87.878. Did I answer the question? No, because that's a decimal. It's not telling me the percent. So it's 87.8%. Right? Maybe this question is about sports, but maybe Eli, you could talk about ticket sales, right? What percentage of tickets have been sold? What, right? Things like that.
So if we wrote 88% on a test because you rounded up, that would be wrong?
Don't round,
Okay, gotcha. Just wanted to make sure.
right?
Yeah.
Sometimes the online homework asks you to round to the second decimal place.
Why?
Don't round, especially, and read about that on the quiz because it doesn't always say round. Okay, D, let's talk about taxes. also relevant, right?
Very true.
Okay, number 15. A shirt costs $20. And the tax is, in North Carolina, about 7%. How much will I be charged? Yep. So the price on the tag says $20. I go up to the register. They run my credit card. What are they running it for? Okay, so let's remember my equation. I have the percent times the base equals the amount. Okay, so what do I have here? Well, first I need to change this percentage to a number I can put in my calculator. Now what? So obviously this is 0.07. What's my base? What's my amount? What am I trying to calculate here? The amount is first I'm gonna calculate the amount of sales tax I have, right? The sales tax times the cost of the shirt tells me the amount of the sales tax.
And then you add the tax and the original amount together.
Good. So JP's one step ahead. First, let's calculate the sales tax. So what's 0.07 times 20? 1.40. Okay? So I'm paying $1.40 on the cost of my shirt, right? This isn't my final cost. How much did I get charged? I got charged the cost of the shirt plus the sales tax, which equals $21.40. I think 7%, somebody Googled in the last class, is average in North Carolina.
Maryland's 5%, I believe.
That's why I think in South Carolina they have tax-free days. If you ever need to buy a computer, that's like $1,000. Swing on south of the border. I think there is something like that here, though. I don't think there's a tax-free day in North Carolina because I had to buy a bunch of stuff, baby stuff, and I was.
See, like over in Europe,
Scooping
they're
it.
smarter because they add the tax into the final amount, and so like when you eat out, you don't tip anyone. They think it's weird when you tip because it's already built into the tax.
But it's already built into the salaries.
Yeah, they get paid enough. They don't need to.
Okay, so I think that's all we have time for.
South Carolina's annual sales tax